Hello kitty caterpillars, and today we are doing another book club. I'm so excited. I am so excited to start doing these again. I didn't realize, I thought I had only done like 3 last time I filmed this. I didn't realize until I actually looked at my thing I had done 5 others. So this is book talk number 7. I was like gonna do like this, but 7, like that's not how you do 7. This is 7. Oh goodness. I have got a lot of books to talk about. None of them I actually have here physically because, like I said in the last one, I do listen to a ton of audiobooks. I seem to fly through audiobooks way faster than actual like physical books because I only read like 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes every night before bed, or I try to anyways, but sometimes it's like, depending on the time and how tired I am, it's like 5 minutes. Sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 15, and I'm not like a super fast reader by any means either. So it can take me a little bit of a time to like actually get through physical books. So a lot of them I listen to through audiobooks, so I will be showing you guys pictures of the covers, as well as I'm not good at saying authors' names, so for some of them I'm just gonna, instead of butchering my way through their names, I'll just put a little thing of like who the author is and like name of the author and stuff like that. So without further ado, let's get into the books that I have read in the past like month or so, maybe a bit more than a month. So yeah. The first book I want to talk about is actually called Book Lover by Emily Henry, and it is about 2 book publishers actually, Nora and Charlie. So Nora grew up in New York City and she's working at this publishing company, and you kind of see a little bit back life of Nora, and then also like a little bit of her childhood too. But Charlie and her are basically like, they work for the same publishing company or something, or he's an editor on, or sorry, not publishing company. She's the publisher, Charlie is a editor, and they are forced together to work on her new client's, or not new client, but her really long time client of hers new book that takes place in a small town. And the girl actually never went to this town, but she had like looked up pictures of this town and like envisioned this fairy tale world. And so the author, the publisher, Nora, actually ends up going to the small town because her sister booked her like a 6-week vacation out there because she was like, I'm pregnant, I just need to get away from my 3 children. She's like, until I have the 4th one on the way, and wanted kind of a bonding experience because like Nora's a workaholic, never takes any time off work whatsoever, and the new book just came out, so she's not getting her stuff into anything else quite yet. So she is more than happy, like not more than happy, but very reluctant to go on this vacation. But her sister's like, I spent all this money, we gotta go. I want to go see this like new place because this girl wrote this. The author wrote a book. The author of the story wrote a book. Like Nora's client wrote a book. I can't remember her name, about this town and made it sound super lovely, and so she booked them like a 6 week like stay at the cottage or something, like stay at the place, and like they were going to be alone for like 3 weeks, and the kids were going to come down the last couple weeks before school and just before she had the baby, and she wanted a break, like Nora's sister did anyways. So they end up going down there, and there's this cute little town, and they're like, this isn't anything like the book at all, and like my sister's gonna have a horrible time. And long and behold, her editor Charlie, which is supposed to be working for this book that she's working on with her client right now, ends up being in this town, and he's helping his family out there because his dad has dementia and his mom owns this bookshop, and he's trying to help run the family business as well as like edit books and stuff. And so they kind of start having this little like banter, and she sends him like this vampire or gorilla Bigfoot erotica. She sends him this Bigfoot erotica, and they kind of start like flirting a little bit about this like Bigfoot erotica that she sent him. And at first they're like, it's definitely an enemies to lovers book because like they hate each other, and like don't want to get along, and she's like, oh my god, like my fragile client is going to be in the hands of this guy, and so she helps edit the book because she always wanted to be an editor, but she went into publishing to help her sister and stuff because her mom died when they were young. Long story short, the two of them fall in love and help save the family bookstore, Charlie's family's bookstore, while they're in town too. And like there's a whole bunch of drama, like the sister Nora thinks that her sister and her husband are getting a divorce, and yeah, just a really good, really good book. I really liked it. I was like, loved every second of it. I really want to read more of Emily Henry books for sure. So I have a couple books I read all by the same person. I believe it's Christina Lauren is the author of the next three books I want to talk about. The first one is we'll start with, this is Soulmate Equation. So it's about this girl, Jess, who's a single mom, and to her daughter Juno, and she ends up, her best friend signs her up for a dating app, but it's with a twist because it's called DNA Duo. So it takes your DNA and finds a match based on your DNA of like who you would match with, and like find your perfect match and everything like that just from like your saliva, and then like shows you all the results. So like it's like dating apps, but like on steroids, where it's supposed to like genetically find your like, I think it's called, did I say Dating Duo? DNA Duo. It's like I just had the name. Genetically is the company, and I think the app is called like DNA Duo. So, and Dr. River Pena is the doctor that started the whole company and is kind of the guy that does the DNA analysis and everything like that. And he and his best friend from college like started the company together. And Jess and her best friend, I want to say Sissy, who is like a erotica novelist, always work at this coffee shop together. And there's this cute guy that comes in, they call him Americano, and he just so happens to be Dr. River Pena. And Jess ends up signing up for this DNA Duo app thing after her friend goes on it and does it and like finds all these base matches and like goes on a bunch of dates. And she gets a message that they have found her a diamond match with, there's a whole bunch of different levels, but basically diamond is anything over a 90% match. And I call her into the office, and long and behold, it is Dr. River Pena. So the two of them kind of end up starting dating for like the release of the show, the release of the app, because it's coming out in 3 months. And I'm like, oh my god, how amazing would it be? The founder of the app got a diamond match and like found his soulmate, and now they're dating, and you know, one thing leads to another, and some shenanigans happen, and I won't ruin it for you guys, but it's definitely really good. And like it just kind of, you know, Jess fights it for a little bit because she is a single mom, and she's like, I don't want to take time away from my daughter Juno, but I also don't want Juno to be involved. And then her grandparents own the apartment building that she lives in, and they live right across the street. So she has like this tight little network of friends and family, and she's really scared to let River into her family because she is a single mom and doesn't want to like take time away from her child and stuff like that. But there is a little twist, and it's really good. So the next one is Love and Other Words, and it goes back and forth between the past and the present. So there is a doctor named, well, she's a doctor now in the book, but Macy, and then her mom passed away when she was, I think, 12 or 13, and so her dad ended up buying them a vacation house. And when they went to go tour this house, there was a boy named Elliot Thropolis or something that lived right next door that was sitting in the room reading a book. And her and Macy and Elliot kind of become best friends. Every time she comes down to their weekend home, the two of them will read in her like library for like hours, and they're best friends, and like they're only kind of, their worlds never really like collide. Like she never meets his friends and he never meets her friends kind of thing, because like she lives at like an hour or two away, so they never actually end up like hanging out. But every weekend they basically hang out, and Elliot and Macy, when they're like 15, 16, start to develop feelings for each other and fall in love. And then we find out that it's been like 15 years, flashback to the future, 15 years later, and like she's out at a coffee shop with her friend, and Elliot walks through the front door, and she's like, oh my god, I'm engaged to this other man, and you know, I'm really happy where things are with him. And she, I think, is a pediatric surgeon or something like that, or a pediatric doctor, so she works with little kids, and does crazy long hours and shifts and stuff at the hospital. And she's like, I'm really happy and settled with the guy I'm with, and he has like a 4-year-old, I guess 6-year-old daughter, and it really reminds her of her relationship with her and her dad, and like how close they are, and she really wants to be a part of that family. And then Elliot pops back into the picture, and like all her feelings for Elliot come rushing back, and like they talk about, there's this reason why her and Elliot stopped talking, but they don't actually tell us for like a really long time what happened. We find out too that her dad also passes away. We don't know what happened to him until the very end of the book, and she blames Elliot for a lot of things of what went wrong and what happened. And you don't find out until later on, like near the end of the book, what actually happened between her and Elliot, why they stopped talking. And you just also see like their teenage romance like blossom throughout the years too, of like going between the past and the future as well. And then you find out that, oh, the guy that she's actually engaged to, and now Macy in the future, she doesn't like actually love him the way she still really loves Charlie, and ends up calling the engagement off because she realizes she actually is in love with Charlie. It's really, really good. And then the third book by her that I have read is The Unhoneymooners. So what happens is Olivia is at her sister's wedding, and her sister is the type of person that is very frugal, and she has really great luck and enters so many contests and basically got her entire wedding for free, including this buffet that she won for free, which is a seafood buffet. And luckily for Olivia, she's allergic to seafood, so she did not have to endure the seafood expedition. And the groom's brother, Olivia and her sister were also identical twins. I should mention that as well. I just can't remember what the sister's name is now at this point. But she's marrying this guy, obviously the sister is, and then the brother does not like Olivia, and Olivia has no idea, and for the past 2 years he's been like rude to her and like all this stuff, and like she thinks he hates her, and like she's not sure why, but like something to do with cheese curds keeps happening, like coming up. And anyways, the two of them, he doesn't like seafood either, so the two of them are the only ones. He doesn't like eating out of buffets and stuff because he says like you can get really sick from buffets, and long and behold, everybody at the wedding gets sick, like massively sick, terrible food poisoning. Like I think people are hospitalized, and like her sister's out for 2 weeks because they had like this really uncooked seafood. So the sister is the only one that is basically not shitting herself and vomiting everywhere, and because like Olivia, and because her sister won a honeymoon trip for a week, she was like, well, we're identical twins, you just take my ID and you can go on this honeymoon together, and like honeymoon and have a vacation before you start, because she's unemployed at the time, and just trying to figure out her life. You did like working so hard, you just got fired from your old job, like you definitely need to go out and have just have a vacation, because you haven't had a vacation in 2 years and it's under my name and everything's paid for, and like I don't want it to go waste, and they won't be able to like change it or anything because of how she won it. And so like you go on it. And then the husband promised the brother, whose name is Ethan, that he could go on the vacation together. And Olivia and Ethan hate each other. And Olivia's like, no, I don't want to go. But then she's like, why should I let Ethan, you know, make it so I can't go? And so they end up going together. And then she gets a call just before she was scheduled to go on this honeymoon, that she has been offered a job, like her dream job, at this company that she's really excited and really wants to work for. And while she is on vacation, she meets up with her boss. And, you know, I feel like because you're identical twins, the ideal thing to do would have just been to pretend that she is her sister. But she goes along with it and tells her new boss that she just got married, and then she's on her honeymoon right now, and that's why she couldn't start work for a week. And the boss tells her like, oh, me and my wife are actually on our like 25th or 30th like wedding anniversary here, and it's our last night here. We'd love to have dinner with you and your new husband, Ethan. And she goes along with it, and her and Ethan go together and pretend to be a married couple and everything like that. And, you know, she wanted to come true with the boss, but he was like loving Ethan, and like his whole thing is like trust and values and everything like that. And so she just keeps going along with the fact that like she's married to this guy, like to Ethan, and they just got married. And then right after they leave the dinner with her boss, they run into Ethan's ex-girlfriend, who also just got married to somebody else. And Ethan is still like, it's been 6 months and he's still like really upset about the fact that this girl, or she didn't get married, but she got engaged to someone else after 6 months after they broke up. So he's still like pining after, I think her name was Sophie or something. And so then the two of them end up like seeing each other throughout the entire week, and they have to also then pretend that they are married, because he doesn't want it to get out. And he's like, yeah, I married so-and-so. And because she knows the sister, she was like, oh, I thought the other one was getting married. And it was like, oh no, they are, but we are also getting married, because they both run in the same social. Anyways, so they basically have to pretend that they are married for an entire week to each other, and then they slowly start to develop feelings for each other. And by the end of the honeymoon, they end up dating. And then the sister, like Olivia, also finds out that her new sister's husband, has been cheating on her for their entire relationship. And then it wasn't until they got married that he was officially exclusive, but he was totally seeing other girls still at the time, even after they got married. And so a whole bunch of shenanigans ensue with that. So that's kind of fun to watch that whole play out. Okay, the next book is called The Wedding Date. I cannot think of the author, and I'm going to butcher her name. I actually just found out today when I was looking up the characters that this is the first book in like a series. Like I think there's like 6 books or something in this series. So I will definitely be looking into those to read those ones, because I did quite enjoy the first book. It's called The Wedding Date, and it's about two people that meet in an elevator. They get trapped in an elevator for 3 hours, and the main character, Drew, needs to find a date to his ex-girlfriend's wedding. She got invited because like he was best friends with the husband, with the girl that his ex-girlfriend is marrying. So he ends up getting stuck in an elevator with Alexa, and she agrees to go on be his girlfriend for his date for the wedding. But then he lies and tells the groom that it's actually Alexis's girlfriend, and he wants to bring her his girlfriend because he was originally he said he was going to bring a date, and then the girl cancels last minute, so he's trying to like stumble around and find a date to this wedding. So Alexa agrees to it, and then pretends to be his girlfriend while at the wedding, and then the wedding all goes, you know, kind of smooth and whatever, and like bride's sister's totally trying to sleep with Drew, who actually ends up being a doctor, and then Alexa is something for the mayor, like a right-hand man for the mayor, and they end up, one lives in Berkeley and one lives in LA, so it's kind of a bit of a long-distance relationship. And the two of them actually end up start dating after the wedding and kind of flying out to see each other. And then Alexa finds out, like usually after the 2-month mark, Drew breaks up with like all these girls. And so Olivia's like, well, we're coming up to the 2-month mark. He's totally going to break up with me and I'm falling in love with him. So I want to just like end things because we're long distance and I'm never going to see this guy again. And it's just, she's like, I can't keep affording flying out like every weekend to LA, and he can't keep affording flying out to see me. So we're just going to end things and break up. And like Drew can't figure out why she wants to end things, because he's like, oh no man, things are going great, like I really want her to be my girlfriend, and I really want to like, you know, see a future with this girl, and I really want to try with her. And she's always heard, like even he told her when she first met, like I don't do girlfriends, this is just gonna be a fling, like, you know, no, I don't do girlfriends, like girlfriends aren't my thing. You know, I usually break, like, and she's like, oh, it's 2 months, you're gonna break up with me. And he's like, no, I can't figure out why she's not, like, talking to me and stuff like that. And the two of them end up, like, dating and, like, flying out to see each other. And then I think he moves to Berkeley or something like that as well. So that's that book. I did not realize that there was other ones in this series. It's, like, it wasn't my absolute favorite. It was a good book still, like there were some ups and downs and like trials and tribulations, and like yes, long distance relationships suck ass, like they suck, even if it's like you can still fly out to see each other. Like it's so expensive to like fly out and see your partner too, like oh my goodness, I could not imagine. Oh my god, my brain is mush. Also, Twice in the Blue Moon is the next book we're talking about. That one is also by Christina Lauren. I forgot to mention that one earlier, so I'll probably just clip it into in with the Christina Laurens. But Twice in a Blue Moon is about these girl when she's 18. Her grandmother takes her on a once-in-a-lifetime trip to England when they're supposed to spend like 2 weeks together, and Tate knows how special it is to her grandmother. And on their first night in England, they end up going to this pub and meeting this family. Not family, but grandfather and his grandson. Anyways, the grandfather and what's his name? Sam. Sam is 21 and Tate is 18. And they both come from super small towns. Like he thinks that his grandfather is dying and is getting sick, and that's why he took them on this big lavish trip for the two of them to go and spend like some quality time. And he says it's, you know, Sam just finished college, and so this is Sam's like treat for just finishing college. And then Tate just turned 18, so Tate's going out there. But Tate is actually a daughter of a super famous actor that when she was like 10, like fell off the face of the earth. No one knows where she lives because her parents broke up and she went to go live with her dad, and no one's like heard or seen of her since. And she is not allowed to tell anyone like her story and who her dad is and everything like that. And so they ended up like hanging out with each other every day in England basically. And she confesses to Sam who she is, basically everything about her life, and where she lives, and where her mom is, and that she's like so-and-so's daughter. And she ends up falling in love with Sam in the 2 weeks that they're there. She loses her virginity to Sam, and then her like, I think she had like a couple days left that they were supposed to be in England or something. And Sam and I can't remember his name right now, the grandfather, something with an L, they leave. And the paparazzi finds out that Tate is so-and-so's dad. the famous actor's dad, and the whole media blows up, and like she ends up becoming famous. And then this book flash forwards to like 14-15 years later, and she's on the set of Milkweeds, and this is going to be her big break, and she's going to be doing her first movie with her father, and everyone's super excited about it. And the author is S.B. Hill, the screenwriter is S.B. Hill, and it ends up actually being Sam, and she doesn't realize it's Sam until the first day on set, and completely loses it because this guy ruined her life, and like totally didn't give her a chance to, like, because he sold her out to the press, but the press doesn't know that Sam is the one that like sold her out, because the PR team made a like whole thing like, oh no, when she was 18 it was a plan to reveal her and everything like that. And so Tay ends up being an actress, which was her dream. She always wanted to go into acting, but she never wanted to say it because her grandma was so against her father and so worried that Tate was going to end up just like her dad. So Tate never really like told anyone she wanted to be an actor. Anyway, she's on the set of this big film, Milkweed, and finds out that Sam's the author of Sam's the screenwriter of this play, of the movie, and she's trying to struggle with like her feelings for Sam, and also not wanting to be there, wanting to put on a good show and be there, and but also like not wanting to speak to Sam. And she thinks Sam is married, and she still has, you know, feelings for Sam because he was basically the only guy she's ever really like actually loved and trusted. And then he like broke her trust, and she doesn't trust men or anyone really in her life. And her dad and her like relationship is only for show and for camera, and she really wants a genuine connection with her dad, but her dad just like doesn't want anything to do with her. And then she's reunited with Sam and just completely blindsided about him being the screenwriter. And it's a whole ordeal. And then the last book, which is The Lost Apothecary. I can't remember who writes that book. It goes back and forth between the 1800s and the present day. So it goes back and forth between Nella, who is a apothecary owner, and she my camera stopped recording, so where was I? Yes, The Lost Apothecary. So it flips back and forth between like present day and the 18th century. So Nella is a apothecary owner who makes tinctures and potions for women that need to kill their husbands, basically. And it all started with Nella, who ended up falling in love with somebody, and her mother was an apothecary owner and owned the shop, and you know, actually made potions for good and healing people. And now she kind of Nella turned revengeful or something, because she ended up having, she was like she fell in love with a guy, and she got pregnant, and then found out that he actually lied to her and had a whole family, and conned her. And so she ends up killing him, and then she loses her daughter. And then she, you know, starts doing this apothecary, like, starts switching over the shop to tinctures that will, like, you know, for women that need help killing their husbands. She won't harm any women. That is, like, totally against her thing. She does not want to harm any woman. It's just to kill men. So there's women throughout the years that will come to her shop and, like, will get things and like know that she's there. And then she meets this little girl named Eliza, who her mistress sends her there to help kill her husband. And Eliza's like, oh, I'm really good at this, I really like Nella, I'd really love to work at your apothecary. And Nella's like, no, it's a one-person show, I don't want anyone here to sleep, but you need help, you're getting older, like your hands aren't working great, and I can totally help you. And Nella thinks her hands aren't, like, her body isn't working because of the guilt of her, like, doing this to all these men and stuff like that, and helping all these women and mass murderers. And then you flip forward to present day. Caroline, who was a big history major, she's supposed to go to England on her 10th honeymoon with her husband, and the day before she's supposed to leave, she finds out that her husband is cheating on her. So, and she also suspects that she is pregnant at the time too. So she goes on the trip to get away from the husband and just kind of reflect and like figure out if she still wants to be with him, if she can forgive him, like yada yada yada. And she ends up finding this little apothecary bottle and wants to know more about it and the owner of it and stuff like that, and try to discover the apothecary's secrets and stuff like that, and just her journey along the way and kind of how Nella gets caught as well, being the apothecary person, and the mass murders of all these deaths and stuff like that. And Caroline uncovers this Nella's story and kind of wants to share it, and actually ends up discovering Nella's shop too, which is really cool. There's not really a whole lot of like, I wouldn't call this one a romance novel by any means. There's like, you know, not a whole lot of romance. It's more about the apothecary and then Caroline trying to discover what's going on in the apothecary. But it is still a really good book. I did quite enjoy it as well. But I think that's going to be everything for There's a Book Talk. I did want to do more books, so I'll probably do a film another one after this. My brain is like mush and I need to stop. So yeah, I think I'm going to call it quits for today. There are way more books I want to talk about, so I'll probably do another book, like a book talk as well. I'll probably film another one today as well, just because there are more books I do want to talk about. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys later. Bye.